Thank you very much, guys, for joining. It's a new time for us and a new different dates, so we are testing different times. I know you guys are very busy running bookstores, so we are trying to find the best time for you to join and dedicate a little bit of time.
Hello, welcome, guys. Thank you for your time. I know it's Friday. Everyone wants to make some money because we're booksellers, so we always work. But as Pavel said, we're testing Friday afternoon. Some people can join, some people can't. We've been doing Thursdays, but I think the next one we'll do on Monday. So if you guys like Monday or Tuesday, about around 4 p.m. Eastern, then comment on chat. Why don't you guys comment on chat, like what's the best day for you potentially to join the next webinar? And by the way, this one will be so insightful and powerful. We have talked to a lot of booksellers and Shopify, and also we're gonna use, just pretty much give you everything that we know. Pavel, are you gonna say anything that we don't know, or we don't want them to know, or are you gonna give them all the secrets about reporting?
Yeah, we're gonna give all the secrets, but a little bit high level, because the reporting is a topic that you can literally just talk about for hours. So much data, and for today we don't want to overload you with information, and it's more of like a high level to get a better understanding of what those reports are. And I know they can be intimidating if you first open the analytics tab in Shopify. A lot of different reports, a lot of different numbers and graphs. So today we'll unpack it and maybe focus on the most important ones. Also, I was thinking, is there anything like specific that you would like to get from this webinar, or are there any specific reports that you would like to see for a bookstore? If there's anything that you would like to see specifically, please comment in the chat, and we will be looking into this. And as always, after the webinar, we're gonna have a Q&A session. So if there are any questions, we are happy to help.
Yeah, that's our time for free, pro bono, for you guys to answer any questions. If you need like a consultation for free, then stick around. We always say 15 minutes, but somehow it just magically changes into an hour. So, and then we have a date with booksellers, But exciting stuff. We're going to the Winner Institute on Sunday morning. We'll be there from Sunday to Thursday. We have this cool flyer. Isn't it beautiful? Pavel is the face. But we have this beautiful flyer and a special offer. I'm not gonna show you what's on the back, because that's just for the people who will be there in Pittsburgh. And so if you guys are going and wanna meet with us for a coffee, then definitely reach out. Tori from our team is here. She works with all the awesome booksellers supporting. We have like 2 other people sitting in the backstage. Pavel obviously is gonna be doing the presentation, and I think we're ready to get started.
Yeah. So there will be people joining us in a moment, but I think we can kick off. So I'm already like seeing some familiar faces. You guys are probably familiar with what we do in the book industry. We've been working with a lot of booksellers on simplifying their extensive data problem. So bookselling is a very specific industry where you guys have all sorts of data. We have a Shopify application that brings all of that to Shopify. So let me start and share my screen here. And I will just quickly go through the application, because it's the way how you can easily bring products to your store. And later on, I'm going to switch to reports, because in order to see reports, you need to have the data in Shopify, and that's what it's all about. So our application here allows you to, it lives inside of your Shopify store, and it allows you to connect with database of products from Ingram, all the 14 million titles. You can easily just click select the book and import it to the store. If you open the details, you will see all the metadata that are available. And by the way, the reason I'm talking about it is that Shopify is releasing a new update where you will be able to get reports based on metadata. So wherever information you see here and whatever is available for booksellers from Ingram, this can be turned into a analytics report. So you will be able to see, authors, information, like everything really that you can imagine. So here, let me move to the analytics. This is a default dashboard, analytics dashboard from Shopify. This is what you see as soon as you open, like if you just start a store and don't customize anything. And there is a lot of data here. Like as you can see, all of that is important, but depends on how you run your store. And Shopify is primarily e-commerce, which means you sell online, but it's also a great backend for your brick and mortar. And the Shopify POS is just an amazing hardware with all sorts of analytics, and all the data that you collect from online sales and your brick and mortar through POS can be found here. So this is very, very valuable to see, and you can even compare. I'm going to show you on those reports how you can compare performance of your brick and mortar and your online store, and see also best sellers in your locations. So this is the default analytics dashboard. You can customize it the way you want it. If you can just you just need to hit that edit the pencil icon here, and you can move things around, drag and drop. You can expand and change the size. You can remove things that you're not interested. So for example, those sessions by referrer. This is very important, but if you don't really run a lot of ads, maybe that could be just a noise for you. However, it's still important to understand where people are coming from. It's not always correctly reported, but it's good to have. So basically, you just move things around. Here on the left-hand side, you have all sorts of reports. Shopify has 150 predefined reports. So that's quite a lot, and you can just select it and move it here. So let me maybe just grab customers by location, and I can just drag and drop it, and I will see people, where are they visiting my store from. That's very specific to online store, but there are also a lot of different reports for your inventory and your Shopify POS. So that's the beginning. You can just customize the view the way you want it. You can add new sections, or you can just reset to default to get back to that screen with what Shopify has for you by default. And you can also find those reports here if you navigate to that section, and you can see categories. So for instance, if you want to see the reports that are related to your traffic, sessions, and customers, you just select the acquisition category, and you will see all those reports here. So visitors over time, sessions by location, sessions by referrer. And if we go back to analytics here, you can actually dive deeper in those reports when you click on the title. So let's start with sessions, because those are, I'm going to first talk about a couple of reports that are e-commerce specific. So regardless of what you sell, as long as you have the online store, those are very important for you to understand what's happening in your online store, and you can spot problems pretty quickly, right? So let's start with sessions. Those are very important, and that really tells you what you do, everything outside of your store, because this is a report about the traffic that you have on your website. So I'm talking all things marketing, all things like paid ads. How do you advertise your store? How do you invite people to see your online store and get the book there, right? So here we have the sessions, and great feature and great thing really about reporting in Shopify is that it's so simple to compare periods. So by default, on the left hand side on the top left, you have the period window. So you can select, like last year by default, you can select different time, and you can compare it with different periods here. So right now I'm looking at last year and I want to compare it with the previous year. So I hit apply, and then we have the comparison. So here the dotted line is the previous period, and this is my current period. And also, as soon as you start comparing data, you will get that that indicator here. So in my case, I had much more sessions in my store this year than the previous year, and it shows me here. You can compare everything, and that's a great feature if you make changes to your store. Let's say you do some online advertising, and you can see how that actually works for you. So you can compare the period without the ads and period with ads. Or let's say a lot of our clients, they host events in their brick and mortar. So they have the events widget on their website, and that's a great marketing tool, right? So you can essentially, as soon as you launch those events, you can check and compare how many people were actually visiting that, your website when you advertise events and before that. So you can analyze how those things are working. Here on the right hand side, we have some additional information that we can grab from those reports. So one of them is metrics. You can add wherever you want to see here. Depends on the data that you're looking at, right? So you can add additional dimensions. So by default, I have months, but we can change that to days, or we can even add additional thing like maybe store. So if you have like a couple of stores, you can check and compare sessions by the store. And here the visualization, so we can also change the way how the data displays. So right now we have the line here, but we can change this to, let's say, donut, and it shows you that it's a different visualization of the data. And every single report that you see on Shopify has those features. Here are also filters. Those are very important as well. I will be showing next reports how you can utilize that to get the clean data, to actually see what you want to see. So those are sessions, very important. This is really the top of the funnel. This is how you drive traffic to your website, traffic to your store. So let's go back to the analytics again, and we see also here we have the sessions broken down by devices. So for my store, people only visit on desktop, so I don't really need to care about the mobile device. However, that doesn't really happen. A lot of people browse on mobile, so you can see here like how many of people visiting your website are actually on phone or on desktop or tablet. That can be useful information for some of the design that you want to implement on your website. Then another very important metric is the conversion rate, and this can be found here also by default added to your analytics dashboard. For my store, this is not the best number. I would normally aim for more. If your conversion rate is small, then that means you might have a problem with the store. So let's say if you run some marketing, let's say paid ads or maybe some social media, and you have a lot of traffic to your website, but the conversion rate is small, that means you most likely attracting not irrelevant audience. So maybe your message needs to be adjusted.
Or the UI UX. We just were on a call with a client from Las Vegas, and they had a lot of traffic. They were doing paid ads, and they had some sales, but there was like way more traffic than the actual conversions. And so they came to us, and what did we do for them, Pavel? Like, just describe briefly the scope of work.
The UI part is also very impactful. You want to make sure that, like, at the end of the day, this is an online store. Like, you want to sell products. People go there to buy products, and sometimes some of people they
the experience, basically what he's saying is like the user interface, which Christine, one of our awesome clients and friends, she's on the webinar, and like her experience, and I compare it to a lot of other booksellers, her experience is like extremely unique, and just matches the branding, and it's the store is really optimized, it's fast. So when someone goes and wants to buy something, like their experience is like way better compared to that client that I just mentioned. They purchased some template, and they literally used AI, and the colors were, I'm gonna say, they were ugly, you know? So like really ugly. Like if you go there and it's like just an ugly experience, you don't want to spend time there. Like, so, and then a great example is we went to one of the bookstores in Las Vegas, and I mean the experience was so good. Like they had coffee, like their like ceiling was just so designed. Like you just go into this bookstore, and it was just like I felt that I needed to buy a coffee. I needed to grab a book from there. Spend some time there. Like just the environment was just created in such an awesome way. So the same we want to do virtually. We want to kind of replicate that, and so all those principles apply, and that's why it's really important to make sure that you guys think about conversions as well. And that's why you need data, because once you know the data points, then you can make good decisions. And that's why we're here to show you where you can actually tap into that data.
Yeah, and exactly. So the sessions, session value, if the sessions are low, then you have the marketing problem. If the conversion rate is low, then you have a problem on your website. So it's very important to understand what those metrics are telling you. So here, because conversion rate is very important, we also have a breakdown. When you look at the sessions here, it basically breaks it down. The conversion breaks down into 3 different stages. So first is added to the cart, reached checkout, and completed purchase. And that's the journey, right? So let's say someone goes to your store, they browse the store, they find something interesting, they add to the cart, but for some reason they don't go to the checkout. That it's called abandoned cart, right? And by the way, Shopify is not only e-commerce platform but also a marketing platform, and there are outside of the box tools that will help you target those people that left the cart and basically abandoned the cart, so you can do some marketing campaign there for them to maybe come back and make the purchase. So essentially, if a lot of people are adding to the cart but they are not proceeding to checkout, then there might be a problem in your cart. Let's say there's a button that doesn't work. Maybe it's not easy to actually process to checkout. Maybe those elements, something is broken on the website. That should be the alert, right? So here we have the session. So 100 people visited my website. Then I have added to the cart, which is 0.5%. Again, not the best number, but you should aim for at least 10%. That would be the healthy number to see on your website. Then we have the reach checkout. That number shouldn't really differ from add to the cart. More or less it should be the same. It can drop slightly, but on the healthy store it should be the same. And then we have the completed checkout. And that's really the most important part, right? Because that's where people make the purchase. That's how you make money. So for the completed purchase part, it's normal to see a drop of 50%. So if you get, let's say, 10% of your traffic adds product to cart, but only 5% complete the purchase, this is actually a healthy number.
Even
for
with the
your e-commerce
webinars,
store.
when we promote the webinars, so we had 68 people registered. So when you have 68 people registered, again, like we're not going after everyone, we're going after very specific people, after awesome booksellers that we love. And it's Friday afternoon, you know, like they're getting, some of them, they're probably so busy, so they couldn't join us. But it's, again, 50%, you see, so 68, around 30 people shows up. That's a healthy number, by the way. Like I don't expect, that's, by the way, that's my fault that only 68 people registered, you know. It should be 680, but we'll get there.
Yeah. Also, I want to mention that if you see that a lot of people are proceeding to the checkout, but they actually dropping, so they are not making the purchase, then this might indicate there might be something wrong on the checkout. So let's say maybe your shipping rates are too high, because that's the moment where people see how much they're gonna pay for the shipping. Maybe you ask for too much information on the checkout, because on Shopify you can customize this. You can either do just email or you can ask for more. Maybe, you know, the more, of course, everyone wants to collect the more data, the better about their customers, but not everyone wants to share their data. So maybe you just ask for too much data there. Shipping rates are too high or something like that. There is a problem on your checkout page. So this is worth investigating if you see those numbers drop drastically when people proceed to the checkout. And this is essentially, on this webinar, we want to show you how you should think about those numbers that you see here, because they bring information that might be very important for your sales. Yeah, another very important metric on the analytics here would be the average order value over time. So that tells you how much money on average one customer spends on your store. And increasing this number directly increase your revenue. So that's a very, very important metric. And we can see that here again. So I clicked on that metric and I can see the full dashboard. So again, I can compare what happened last year and the previous year with my sales. Maybe actually let's change that window. Maybe I'll just do last month and then the previous month. Sorry, I didn't confirm. So, or maybe do the week. Let's do the week. Last week, and then I go the previous week. So I want to be on top of the game, checking my stats weekly to see what's happening, and I can address, you know, things quickly. So in my case, I had a lot of sales this week comparing to the last week. Maybe I implemented a new marketing campaign. Maybe I started to advertise more, maybe post more on social media, right? So this is how you can actually see how people behave on your website. But for this particular metric, the average order value for a customer, there are a couple of things that you can do to actually increase that. And we would recommend considering bundles, maybe introducing bundles that will get the average number up, right? So if you add this new approach of adding bundles to your store, you can later check on that metric what changed. Maybe actually people started, you know, spending more money. Maybe you should introduce free shipping for orders over $75 rather than $50, right? So people, they don't want to pay the shipping, so they would add another item for $25 extra to get the free shipping. And this is how you can directly impact the average order value on your store. You can introduce cross-sells, you can introduce upsells in your cart or in your checkout. Those are tactics that you can introduce to actually increase that value, and that will directly impact your revenue and your sales on the store.
You know, so, like when he says cross-sale, I think that he's selling some crosses, you know, or whatever. Like I hate when people use things like that, because like I always talk to people and I just want to explain what's a cross-sale and upsell.
Yeah, so for example, you sell, someone purchase or adds to the cart like 2 sci-fi books, right? For like maybe the same author. And upsell is basically showing them on the cart that there are other sci-fi books from this author that are worth, maybe checking in. And then there might be some promotion that add the third one to get some kind of a discount. And for the customer, it's going to be a deal. They will pay less per book, but the final order will be more. So the average order value will go up in the number. So, and with the metadata that you have access to through Ingram and through our application in Shopify, you can actually create those sections. You can create collections, smart collections. Maybe you can curate books that are the same author and with the same basic subject. And later on, if someone adds this to the cart, that could be recommended inside of the cart. So before people proceed to the checkout, they will see that deal. Oh, maybe one more book. Let's add one more book for the same author, sci-fi, or different basic subject, right? That's cross-sells and upsells, really. So let's move on to the next metric. Another one, very important. I mean, all of them are pretty important, but as I said, we don't want to overload with all the data here. Is the retention rate, sorry. And that tells you how many people are actually coming back to buy again on your store. So here on my store, I click again to see more details. My retention rate is huge. That means, it's a good thing and then a bad thing, right? Because a lot of my customers are coming back to buy again from my store, but that also means I'm not acquiring new customers, because most of the customers that are on my store are my existing customers. But I also want to have more new customers, right? So this is that number. I think you guys should aim for between 40 and 50%. So you still retain your customers. People are coming back to you buy products, but you're still acquiring new customers. And actually, interesting thing is that a lot of people don't know that, but it's 5 times cheaper on average to get your existing customer to buy product from you again than comparing to acquiring a new customer. So completely forgetting about your existing customers is a big
or said in other words, the second money is always easier than the first money.
Yeah.
So it's easier to get the second money from, like, let's say I'm gonna call Christine tomorrow. I'm gonna say, Christine, I need some more money from you. Like, she's more willing to give me more money than someone who's not our customer yet. She said she's not giving us any money, but she would anyway, She's like, I have no money for you. Go away. Emersoft, don't call me anymore.
Yeah, so this is also very important, and a lot of people, they are missing out because they all the time chasing new customers, chasing new people to come into the store to buy books online from you. But in reality, you should also think about your existing customers, because it's much cheaper. They're willing to go back to your store especially if they had good experience. So you should aim here for around 40 to 50%. And then that's when it comes to those general reports for e-commerce, that would be it. Of course, it's in a very high level, because we could dive deeper and talk about it for probably hours. But I just wanted to give like a quick overview, and now we can move to something that is more bookstore specific. So let's have a look at POS reports. So I want to see. I already prepared a couple of reports here. So I have my reports, and that's by the way what you can do. So you can create a report, customize whatever report you have, and then save it here in Shopify and move it and drop it to the analytics dashboard, as I was showing you with that customization. So I want to look at the report total sales by product. Total sales by product. So this one here is actually going to tell me, it's not very POS specific, but it includes information about the location. So I can actually see where those products are being sold. But looking at this report, I can check what are my best sellers in the store. And you can see a lot of different data here. So as I was showing previously, you can customize that pretty extensively. So for example, we don't really care about the product type here. So I only want to see also metrics. So metrics are essentially columns in the table, and dimension is the product, right? So the rows. So I can see all my best-selling products across different locations, and I can see the vendors, so I can even organize them by vendors. But let's go by the best-selling product, so total sales. This is my best-selling product, and from here I can add additional information. So I go to dimension, and let's say I want to see the location where that product was sold. So I can select the POS location name and apply it. And just like that, I just got an information about my POS location. So in my store, Shopify store, I have 2 POS locations and my online store. For my online store, the POS location display as none. So that's how you can identify the location. And I also have my Florida warehouse, and I have my shop location here. So looking at those analytics, I can say that this is my best-selling book, and it sells online for the most part. My best-selling book in any of my POS locations would be this book in that location, and that's how many I sold. And by the way, I want to mention something. So in Shopify, you have access to the Sidekick. I think it's something that like Shopify really invested a lot of money into this. They recently released that, and a lot of people don't use it still. And I would really recommend exploring that, because it's like having your personal assistant that knows everything about your Shopify store, your data, and e-commerce. So for example, I'm looking at this report, and I can literally just ask, can you explain the report that I'm looking at, and what does it say about my sales? So I'm literally looking at this report. I'm not sure, like what does it really mean? Like how can I benefit from that? And I can ask Sidekick to tell me what that really means. And you can do that with any report. So in this case, I got my Sidekick to, this report shows the product sales over last 30 days. Top performance, your best-selling product is Inside by Harper Business with like it really translates those numbers into a natural language. And this is very helpful, especially with those more complex reports. It can explain you, and you can have a conversation with this with Sidekick and tell him like, okay, how can I improve this? What can I do this? What can I do to do that? And
can I go on a date with Sidekick? That would be a side girl. Sorry, no.
I think Sidekick wants to only talk about the e-commerce and sales.
Okay.
Also helpful with marketing, so I would really
like the
recommend.
sense of humor, guys. It's free. It's free of charge.
Yeah, so I really recommend you guys checking Sidekick. Another thing that you can do with Sidekick. So for example, I have this query here. So let me start a new conversation, and I can just type, I run a bookstore, how can I see my best-selling products per location? I have 2 POS, prepare the report for me. So instead of instead of looking at those reports, trying to find it in between those 150 reports that Shopify prepared, you can actually ask Sidekick to prepare this report for you. And then it can even generate it, and you have a link there. So perfect, I prepared the report, online sales, no POS. Inside the tornado leads with that many sales, my Florida warehouse and my shop location. So just like within seconds, it just gave me the overview. So you don't even need to analyze this data. And if you want to see that, discard. Yeah, and if you want to see that, it also created that report for you, so you can actually navigate and then customize it. So change the way how the data displays. You can include additional information if you want to dive deeper, right? Filters also very important. So for example, right now I have my all 3 locations. So I have my online store, my Florida warehouse, my shop location. So using filters, I can just filter by location. So if I go to the locations, POS location name, and I can select Florida warehouse, and now it's showing me that report just for my one location. And I can do the same for, so those are my best selling products in this location. I can do the same for my other location, and then do the same for my Shopify store, which the location name is none. So that's how you use reports, that's how you use filters, and that's how you use Sidekick to help you understand what you're looking at. It's like your personal assistant that helps you with with all the information that you have there. And that was just a simple example. You can really go deep there. Another report that I want to show you here would be the comparison between my brick and mortar and sales online store. So you see, this is like a global search, and it found my report, but I can also search here. So I prepared this report. It's kind of similar to what I was showing you previously, but it shows me at a glance how my sales channels are performing. So I can just quickly see my non-POS locations, which is my online sales, then my other location, Florida warehouse, and my shop location. And then I can also use the comparison. So I can compare how my sales channels were performing this month and last month. So if you grow your online store and you already run brick and mortar, you can like compare the performance of those two pretty basically live every week, every day, what's happening. So you can see all the information there. And also again, if you run some marketing, or maybe there was an event, or one of your articles went viral, that also happens. We had a client like that. They got huge traffic on the website, sales boomed, and then you can identify those moments. So there was an article, big boom, and that means you should be doing more of that, right? And another report, and this is actually a direct request from one of our clients that want to see, is to see the inventory units at location by end of the month. So this is more of a inventory kind of booking, whatever report, and it's not available. It's outside of the box from Shopify, so it required a little bit of work. So here with this report, you can quickly see the ending inventory units per location at the month end. So if you do any like reporting statuses of your stock, you can quickly check what's happening here. So in my case, I just have the units and the value, but you can really break this down by a lot of different metrics here. So for the inventory, I can check additional data here, but for the dimension, I can also add some like products specifically. Then meta fields, as you can see here, someone was asking, Christine. So yeah, dimensions and filters, the meta fields are already kind of available. So this is something new from Shopify. We are still exploring that. I was trying to play with it. Doesn't work all the time, but they will be working towards this. So the meta fields that you are getting for books, they can be used for dimensions and filters. So I can even see the inventory per pre-order. I will be looking into this. Then you also have filters. So I'm only showing inventory where the cost is recorded and inventory is tracked. And for people that use our application, I can exclude the Ingram inventory, because sometimes like we got feedback from some people that because our application syncs inventory that is available at Ingram, then it might affect those reports. this doesn't matter for you because it's just online sales. So you can just exclude it. Inventory location name is not Get Books Stock Management, which is basically the name of the location from our application that syncs with Ingram. So I don't want to see that. Those are just my shop locations. So only inventory that I have in stock for my shop location. This is online store, so it's not showing me because most of my books are at Ingram. So, and then I have my Florida warehouse broken down by the location. Shopify reports are very, very powerful, and you can do a lot. So for people that are that wanna explore a little bit more in terms of how those reports are being generated, there is this little panel on the top, and those are GraphQL queries. And it's basically a way how you can grab data from your Shopify. The good thing is that you have the Sidekick available here, so you can actually explain what you want to see. It's not always right. You need to be very specific at what you're looking for, but it's really helpful. So for those that want to dive deeper, they can you can guys try to talk to the Sidekick and see if they can if it can help you with those reports and getting the data that you want from your Shopify store, because Shopify records a lot of data. It's just a matter of extracting it from it and seeing them reports. So as you can see, you can customize this on a very high level, on a very detailed level as well. You can move things around, you can define your own layout, and it will really help you understand where you're at, how you're performing, how your locations are performing, how your marketing is performing. If there is anything broken on your website, people are adding products to your cart, but they are not proceeding to checkout. Maybe they are dropping a lot of sales on checkout. Maybe your shipping options are too expensive. Maybe you ask for too much data. Maybe you should introduce bundles or upsells. Maybe increase the value of the order for free shipping to get the average order value up. So there's a lot. I hope it was helpful. Do you guys have any questions? I saw there were some questions on the chat. I didn't have time to look into this, but maybe Tori, do we have any questions, or was I able to answer all of them? Curious, you guys.
Let me go ahead and review. And also, I just want to say hi. If you work with us, you've probably gotten emails from me, especially through the store setup process, or if you have any questions, but it's great to see some of your faces here and some familiar names as well. Okay, let me take a look through. There was a question earlier about, what is a good target for conversion rates? And in the chat, you said 20% is something we should aim for, but is there more you want to add on to that?
I mean, 20%. I think that's the answer. Obviously, we wanna aim for more. The more, the better, right? But on average, it should be like, if for the healthy number, it should be around 20%, because let's be real, a lot of people, they just go browse and they don't always buy. So I think like every fifth customer visitor, they should buy something. Or that means you might, as I said, maybe you're not attracting the relevant traffic. Maybe you talk about something that sparks interest. They go to see the website, but they can't find it. Or something doesn't work. Maybe you have some pages. You can actually explore this further, the sessions, by landing page, so you can see where people are landing. If you are advertising maybe some specific books or landing pages on your page. And the same can be done with the conversion rate, so you can actually really understand the traffic, where is it coming from, and how it converts. Here also by the referrer, you can see the people. If you run any social media marketing or ads, you can see where are they coming from.
Great. Okay. Ruby asked a question, curious if you guys have a report customization for a mobile bookstore or pop-up events. Or will sales only show up like a brick and mortar since it's the same POS system?
Yeah, I think there would be a way to do that. We probably would like to, after the event, you would probably like to add tags to orders. And then we could, like I'm just thinking right now, but I haven't done this specific case, but by looking at reports, by working with Shopify, I would probably say after the event, just go to orders, add tags that those orders were for, if you use the same POS, if the same POS system, so basically the same device that you have in store and for pop-up events. So I would say just tag orders that were on those events, and then in the reports we could organize those reports by tags. I mean orders by tags. That would be something like I'm thinking about on the top of my head, but if we spend a little bit more time.
Wouldn't you just be able to use mobile bookstore and outside events as a location and run reports that way?
If you only sell those as do you, in this scenario, would you have online sales like a normal online store, then your brick and mortar and pop-up events, or just brick and mortar and pop-up events?
We aren't using them, but I did use them in St. Helens. So we had outside events as a location.
Okay.
Because then everything is in its own bucket.
Yeah. Yeah, that could also be a way of doing that.
Just tagging is
laborious. So you would add additional location to your store and just update the inventory for the event and just fulfill from this location on the event, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that would also work. Yeah, that's actually pretty smart.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Christine. So then you would have, as I was showing, like those different columns per location. It might probably add a little bit of work for the inventory management, because you would have to update the number for this location before the event. But for the reports, that's gonna work, yeah.
So it sounds like a couple ways of doing it, but simplest would be new location. It's kind of nice to think on the fly. Good to show that there's many ways of accomplishing something.
Yeah, that's why we always, preach for Shopify. It's just amazing platform, and really the level of customization is just next level, right? You can't really, and we work with a lot of booksellers, and each of them has a different way of doing things. And trust me, I thought that, it's the same industry, you guys just sell books, but everyone, I'm still, learning new things. Everyone runs their store in a different way. And the beauty is that Shopify can accommodate all of that.
Yeah, like talk about Julie. We were in Orlando visiting one of our clients, and she mentioned about the community aspect that she would like to implement on the list.
Yeah, so she wanted to work more closely with communities, local communities, and she wants allow them to submit lists of recommended books. It's kind of something similar to what Bookshop.org does. And Shopify, doesn't have anything like that outside of the box, but the level of customization allows to at least, mimic something like that and take it step by step. So it doesn't have to be, fully developed and implemented, but it can be automated like in the, in stages. And just leverage whatever, Shopify already has. It's a great platform, and we are Shopify partners as well. So if you guys need any help, something specific with your Shopify store, we are always happy to look into this. We also have access to some incentives from Shopify. They change pretty frequently, so if you are thinking of new POS device, if you're thinking of maybe new store for your Shopify, please reach out to us and we can check with Shopify what's available right now, and maybe we can get you some really good deal there. Recently, I think it's still active. I can't, I can say 100%, but for the last 2 months, we were able to get some free POS devices for some of our new clients from Shopify, 1,500 in credits, and Shopify was running this promotion for newcomers. So please check in with us.
And when they get the free POS, we then offer them 5 hours of our consultation. That's a value of $750. But because you guys joined the webinar, we would be happy to offer a free discovery call. And just if you want to look at your reports or Shopify, I mean, we're talking to a lot of people. They love our application, which I'm pretty sure you guys are pretty familiar with. But sometimes they also want improvements on their Shopify. So whether it's user experience, improving the speed, or the experience, we can jump on a discovery call and just discuss how we can help you specifically. So reach out. I've sent a link. Tori, if you could put that link again, that would be awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, and I also want to mention that we are working on a new version of our application. I know we were talking about it on our last webinar. So things that we discussed we are just wrapping it up, and this will be available within like 2 up to 3 weeks. It's very complex. We are depending on a lot of different services as well, so we need to align with their timelines as well. But things are moving forward, and we are bringing a lot of new things, a lot of innovation to the space, and there will be a lot of new features and more data available for books. So not only those metaphors that I was showing you earlier, but we will also have all the information about authors' bios, reviews, and rewards and all that stuff.
And we're adding another huge data provider and distribution, and a wholesaler. So it starts with G, and I'm gonna just end at this.
Yeah, and also
it's the big G. Big G is coming. That's what I can say.
Yeah.
And then on the next webinar there will be another letter that I'll reveal.
Yeah. And
oh no, actually I'll reveal the second letter. So it's G and A, but the third letter will be on the next webinar.
I see Christina's thinking.
Yeah, Christina is already looking at all those. She knows the industry inside out. So guys, we are also coming to Winter Institute. Please let us know if you are there. We would love to catch up, maybe grab a coffee, discuss Shopify, or in general just talk about books, because we also read a lot of them, and I see some recommendations on the chat. Definitely gonna review that. So we are almost an hour here. If you guys have any additional questions, we are happy to answer. If not, we can let you go Friday afternoon. Enjoy the calm evening with a book. And again, if you need any help, let us know.
Yeah, I'll also put the link here, like if someone goes to the Winter Institute.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you there in Pittsburgh.
So there you go. That's the
It's
link.
gonna be cold, yeah. Comparing to sunny Florida here, it's gonna be a winter trip, yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have any questions? One more question and we can go. We have 5 more minutes, so let us.
We can stay online, yeah, for anyone that wants to stick around. Sometimes people are uncomfortable asking
Yeah,
questions.
I know not everyone is comfortable, like on the camera. So.
And also the reports are, they're very advanced. So I think as soon as you guys start playing with that, then there might be questions, and we're happy to help.
Yeah, Javier, thank you for joining. I think that's how I pronounce your name. And I know we have a call as well, so.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We'll talk to you next week. And thank you very much, guys. I think that's it. That's a wrap up.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, one more thing. There will be a recording of this session. So anybody who joined here, you guys will get an email notification first once it's out, and you can always come back to it. Or we are your resource. So if we can help you in any way in terms of reports. So today was all about like just knowing your numbers in order to make better decisions, and also having those real reports so that you can save a lot of time. Like knowing your data is everything. Because if I know that people are coming for this webinar from certain sources on certain day, let's say last time we had over 100 people registered, like I think 70 booksellers showed up. That's already a different day than Friday. So I need to figure it out. So now we're gonna do Monday, like we've been doing Thursdays.
Yeah.
That's a data point. That's a data point. And that's exactly what we wanna achieve here. So again, knowing your numbers, and it's so difficult when you're so busy with everything to kind of like, and I know reports are boring, like they're so boring, but it is what it is. So thank you very much for joining, and enjoy the rest of your week and the weekend. So thank you, bye.
Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.